So your solar system is growing and you're thinking it's time for an upgrade. Moving from 12 volts to 24 volts is one of the smartest moves you can make. And that's exactly what we're going to tackle today. How to wire those batteries in series, but more importantly, how to do it safely.
You're ready to make the jump to a more powerful, more efficient 24-volt system? That's great. You're opening up a whole new world of possibilities for your setup, letting you handle bigger loads and just making everything run better.
But, and this is a big but, this is one of those jobs where you have to get it right. One wrong connection can literally fry your expensive batteries. And honestly, it can create a really serious safety hazard. A lot of guides you find online kind of gloss over the most critical safety checks, and that's exactly what we're going to zero in on. All right, so before we even think about touching a tool, let's make sure we understand what's actually happening here. We've got to get our heads around the basic principle of series wiring.
So what is series wiring anyway? Well, in a nutshell, it's just connecting batteries in a specific way, positive to negative. And why do we do this? The one and only goal is to add up the voltage and make our battery bank more powerful.
Okay, this right here, this is probably the number one thing that trips people up. When you hook up two 12-volt batteries in series, the voltage adds up. Simple enough, right? 12 plus 12 gives you 24 volts. But, and you really got to get this part, the amp-hour capacity does not add up. It stays the same. So two 100 amp-hour batteries become a 24-volt, 100 amp-hour bank, not 200.
So why go through all this trouble? Well, the payoff is actually huge. See, there's a basic rule. Power equals voltage times current. So if you double the voltage, you only need half the current to get the same amount of power. That means less wasted energy is heat, which means you can use thinner, cheaper cables. Plus, your inverters just love running on higher voltage. They're way more efficient. Okay, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty. We're going to walk through this step by step, the safe way. Stop. Before you touch a single cable, you have to run through this checklist. Your batteries have to match. I'm talking same voltage, same capacity, and same chemistry. Ideally, you want them to be the same age and from the same brand too. If you mix and match, you're setting yourself up for failure. One battery will always be working harder than the other, and your whole bank will destroy itself from the inside. This part is absolutely non-negotiable. All right, step one is super simple. Just put your batteries next to each other so you can see all the terminals clearly. Now for step two, this is the key connection, so pay close attention. You're going to create the series link. Take a jumper cable and connect the positive terminal of the first battery to the negative terminal of the second battery. I mean it. Double check it right now. Positive on one to negative on the other. So think of those two terminals you just connected as, well, they're now just an internal bridge. They've done their job. What that leaves you with are your real system connections, the open negative on battery 1 and the open positive on battery 2. Those 2 points are now the 24-volt output for your whole system.
Hold on, we are not done yet. In fact, what we're about to do is what separates a pro job from a disaster waiting to happen. It's time for some serious safety checks because you have to verify your work. So you've got it all wired up, but how do you know you did it right before plugging in your expensive inverter or charge controller?
This is where your trusty multimeter comes in. This is the moment of truth. Set it to DC voltage and touch the probes to those 2 main system terminals we just talked about. You should see a reading right around 24 volts. You know, if the batteries are fully charged, it might even be a little higher, like 25 or 26 volts. That's totally fine.
And listen up, because this is super important. If that meter reads 12 volts, you've probably connected them in parallel by mistake. If it reads 0, you've got a bad connection, or worse, a short circuit. If you see either of those numbers, just stop. Unplug everything and go back to square one. Do not connect anything until you see that 24-volt reading. Okay, let's talk about something that freaks a lot of people out. That little zap you get when you make that final connection to your inverter. First off, don't panic. It's usually normal. It's just the capacitors inside your gear charging up instantly. The trick is how you handle it. Make that connection quick and firm, one solid motion. Whatever you do, don't tap the cable on and off the terminal. That's how you create a nasty arc. And please, wear your safety glasses. All right, just a few last but absolutely essential safety tips. You need a fuse on the main positive line, as close to the battery as you can get it. It's your ultimate safety net. Second, make sure every single connection is tight. A loose connection creates resistance, resistance creates heat, and heat creates fire. And finally, please use the right gauge of cable for the power you're planning to draw.
So let's bring it all home. We'll talk about the payoff for all your careful work, and I've got one final very important warning for you. So, after all that, what have you got? By following these steps, you've built a 24-volt system that's more efficient, it's more stable, and it's ready to handle much bigger loads, safely. You've just given your entire system a major upgrade. But I'm going to leave you with one final thought. And if you remember nothing else, remember this. Remember that checklist from the beginning about matching batteries? There's a reason for it. Never, ever mix batteries of different ages, capacities, or types in series. It might seem to work for a while, but I promise you, you're building a self-destruct sequence. It is the silent killer of DIY battery banks. All right, so for everyone who's been following along, you've been careful, you did the wiring, and you pulled out your multimeter for that final, crucial check. I'd love to know, what voltage did you get? Drop it in the comments.